I hate it. What is going on, guys? Your boy Pony Montana, and in this video we are going to be going over part 2 of the Philadelphia Eagles playbook in Madden 24. First part, we went over 2 of the best passing formations in the game, and in this video this is going to be more of the short game, the run game, things that you guys are going to be able to do to completely dominate your opponent on the ground and sort of in the air. We're going to be going over one formation specifically, but we are going to touch base on a few things that will help you guys completely dominate out of this playbook. Now, before I get into it, if you guys are new to the channel, do not forget to hit that subscribe button, like the video, comment anything that you guys might be struggling with down below, and hit that noti bell and never miss another upload. And if you have nothing to comment and you want to support, well, just comment FTA. If you guys don't know, FTA stands for the algorithm, and it helps push these videos to more and more people. So shout out to the FTA squad, the FTA gang. You guys went absolutely nuts last video, and obviously the more you guys comment, the more you guys like these videos, the more we grow, the faster we grow, and the more we grow, the more videos that I can upload. The more videos I upload, the better you guys can potentially get at Madden, obviously. So let's go ahead over the ebook, and we're gonna start off with personnel. Now, to maximize your output in this ebook, you're going to want to have a good quarterback, excuse me, not a good quarterback, a fast quarterback. I went out and I rebought Michael Vick, and you're going to want to have a good running back. Again, this is going to be a running formation mainly, where we're going to sit there and tote the ball as much as we possibly can. So because that's going to be one of the main things that we're going to be doing, we're going to want a second tight end no matter what formation that we're in. Most of your formations are supposed to be 2 tight ends and 2 wide receivers with 1 running back, so that we can audible down to the main form in this playbook. So we're in gun bunch strong nasty right now, and I've already taken the liberty of putting my tight end in this position. And the reason why we're in bunch strong nasty is because we have to go over a couple of the plays that we're gonna start off in, and then we're gonna audible down to. So if you guys want to make sure that your opponent is kind of making sure that they have defense for, the single back formation that we're going to be audibling down to, make sure you guys have a second tight end, because you guys are going to be able to run the first portion of the ebook with 2 tight ends. It's just going to make your life 10 times easier, and it's going to make your opponent's life 10 times harder. So we're going to start off with bunch strong nasty, exactly where we left off in the first part of the ebook, because there's something that you guys need to know when it comes to this RPO read bubble, and it's going to pertain to most of the formations that we end up running in this. So we're going to call RPO read bubble because there is something you guys need to see. And on the offensive side, defense, we're just going to call a random defense. So when you call the RPO read alert bubble, this is one of the best plays in the game. It's one of the best kinds of plays in the game because you have multiple options. So when you call the read alert bubble, again, we're simply just calling a run. It is a read option play, so we have the potential chance to keep it with our quarterback if we want. As you can see, this guy stands up, which means that we hand it off to our running back, and we simply just try to find a gap and go crazy. Now, if that guy was chasing the running back, the quarterback, the running back. So we're going to option the running back here. Let's go ahead and click off. So we're going to look at our read and pitch keys. He's going to chase the running back, so we're going to keep it with our quarterback. As you can see, now we have yardage simply by running with our QB. Now, one of the main things that you guys need to know when it comes to this is you have to learn to slide. You have to slide if you're keeping it with your QB, especially out of one of these read alert bubbles. If you don't slide, there is a huge chance that you guys could potentially fumble. And that's something that for this ebook, you guys are going to need to know and make sure that you guys are being protective over, because you guys don't want that to be the case. Now, this is the second part of this, is actually throwing the read alert, throwing the alert pretty much. There's a lot of people who sit there and they just simply try to run the ball, because from time to time you will get very, very good blocking when it comes to this, especially if they're only sending 3 people. But a lot of the times there are times where you are supposed to sit there and throw it to your pitch key. As you can see right now, we're just simply toting the ball on the ground and frustrating our opponents. And one of the main things, and one of the reasons why this is such a good formation, is simply because once you start passing with the first portion of this ebook, once you start passing out of this play, they're going to start accounting for the deep halves going all the way up top, right? For a 30-yard cloud flat, they're going to start the double Mabel, and if they start the double Mabel, then that outside guy here is going to end up wide open nonstop. And as you can see, we're gaining yards, and it's going to be very, very easy. Now, this is where things get. This is something that a lot of people don't talk about. When you are running the read option, and I'm going to show this real quick, we're always looking at these guys here, the read and the pitch key. There is something that happens if your read and pitch key are too close together. And I'm going to motion this guy in, and I'm going to motion the other guy in. I'm doing this with 2 controllers, so mind you, I'm going to move that guy in. Now, from time to time, the read key ends up being this outside guy. Now, right now, that's not the case, so we're just going to simply run another play. The read key ends up being the outside cornerback. Now, if that is ever the case, now this actually might result in him being the read key. I don't know. All right, perfect. This is exactly what I wanted to showcase. If you guys ever are running this and you see this guy here as the read key, no matter what the situation is, you are going to throw the RPO. You're going to throw the pass. You're not going to run it. You're not going to hold on to it. You are going to throw every single time, and I'm going to showcase exactly why. It doesn't matter that you will end up with a situation like this every single time, and this is something that people do not talk about enough. They are broken, yes, and this is one of the reasons why, because there is no defense for it. There is no defense if you make the right read. No matter how far outside, you can have him in a hard flat, a zero flat, it doesn't matter. If he is the read key, he will always chase down, because his assignment is to guard either the running back or the quarterback. It is not to guard the pass. So again, it leaves this play completely broken, and this is a huge thing for this ebook in general. We're causing broken plays. That's essentially what we're trying to do here. So we're gonna go ahead and pinch our defense again. See, and it happened again. As you can see, we pinched our entire defense, which a lot of people tend to do, and it leaves that guy as the read key, which allows us to throw this every single time if that's the case. And as you can see, another huge gain of about 20-30 yards. Now let's get into the actual ebook and go over another play that you guys are going to be able to call, and one of the reasons why you need a somewhat decent fast quarterback. So we got bunch offset, bunch strong nasty, and now we're going to look at trips tight end offset weak. We're not going to go over any of the pass plays because we don't want this to be too much for you guys to take in. Again, we're trying to run the ball and play clock as much as possible. So right now, the only play that we're going to be going over out of this trips tight end offset week is this RPO read bubble. One of my favorite plays, because also if they're running some kind of match coverage, the match coverage gets pretty much trashed out simply because there's 4 wide receivers on one side. Excuse me, 4 receivers with the running back on that one side, which makes it a little bit harder. Now, same situation as the bunch strong. You have a read option, and then you have a pitch. So the quarterback's going to be able to keep it, and you're going to be able to go absolutely crazy depending on the read here. And as you can see, we have numbers, and we end up gaining a lot of yardage. If you see these guys crash in, you keep the ball with your QB. If not, you hold the X button so that your running back keeps it, and then you're good to go. That's pretty much it. So again, right now, this is one of those situations that you guys need to know. The pitch key is all the way up here. The read key, again, we don't care about the read key. We can throw at the read key nonstop. But because this pitch key is all the way up here, he has absolutely zero chance at actually guarding the throw option. So for this play, again, get comfortable with it. You're going to go ahead and throw it every single time, and you're going to be able to get yards there. As you can see, I try to make the other guy pick up the block, but the pitch key can't guard anything. So you're always going to be looking to see where the pitch key is to see if you can actually throw it. That time, the pitch key went inside, but we end up holding it because of the read option. The guy didn't just completely stand up, or excuse me, crash down. This time he crashes down, so we keep it with the QB. And as you can see, this is why you need somebody who's got a little bit of speed. Michael Vick out there for a touchdown on that kind of situation. Remember, slide if you guys are in one of those situations. You have to slide with your quarterback or else you do risk the possibility of fumbling. Now, that is it. Remember, keep a second tight end in all of these formations so you can audible down to single back wing slot. And that is going to be the main portion of this ebook. We're going to dominate out of single back wing slot, and we're going to go over all the setups that I currently use in wing slot to dominate my opponents. And I pretty much win a Super Bowl every single day, and this has been the offense so far. So for our audibles, we're going to have stretch alert bubble, we're going to have zone alert bubble, mesh spot, and PA tight end scissors. These are going to be the only plays that you are going to need. And remember, if you guys have a tight end apprentice, if you guys have a running back apprentice, your offense just becomes that much more dynamic, and you guys are absolutely able to go crazy in this formation. So we're going to start off showcasing the alert bubbles. Yes, we're still on the run game because it's such an important part. And we're not going to go over both of them. We're simply going to showcase what you need to do depending on what it is that the opponent is doing. So most of the time we end up with an opponent that ends up crashed down. So first things first, we're going to make sure we're looking at this guy. We don't even care about what's going on out here. We don't care. We simply want to look at this guy here to make sure that he's either crashing in or he's staying with the RPO. So the reason why we have to make sure that we look at that is because it's a split-second decision. As soon as you see him go in even a little bit, you're gonna throw the ball. You're gonna hold the button that is the bubble, and you're just simply gonna throw the ball. So we're gonna test it here. You see how he backed up and went inside? We simply are throwing the ball, and we end up gaining it about 10 yards there. Beautiful. And we're gonna showcase the instant replay. So this is the only thing that we're gonna go over when it comes to this. You see how he goes inside. As soon as you see him go inside, you throw that. And it goes the same way on the other side of the ball as well. Soon as you see him crash in, you throw it. And this is gonna gain you yards almost every single time. Again, there are some fluky situations, but that is Madden. And obviously, if they come out in a 3-down lineman set where they have a guy here, here, and here, you're gonna audible into the RPO zone alert instead. And then it's gonna be the same thing. You see how he went inside? We end up running the ball inside and gaining yardage no matter what. So let's get rid of the squigglies there. But again, that is what you guys are going to want to see. So let's do it one more time. He crashed out, so we end up gaining yardage. He crashed in, excuse me, so we end up gaining yardage. And that's it. That's going to make your life 10 times easier when it comes to running this. And he did crash in, and that's why we threw it. These guys are all blitzing. So let's go over the plays. And we're going to start off with mesh spot. So let's call timeout and hop in mesh spot to go absolutely crazy here. So mesh spot's going to be the #1 play. And there's a few setups out of it. And we're just going to call random defenses because we're just going over the looks that you guys can potentially get when you guys call this. Almost everybody crashes down. So that's exactly what we're going to do. And we're going to take R1. This is the first play setup. And we're going to put R1, the outside tight end on a flat pattern. It can also be just a simple flat pattern like this. Sometimes you end up getting better separation when it comes to that. And that's it. Take a screenshot and take a screenshot. And your read progressions are going to be, your flat is going to be #1. I'm actually going to call hike, just let the play develop. Just to showcase exactly what your read progression should be. And there are a bunch of different setups, so this is going to be a long one. So again, we're going to start off with the flat pattern. The flat pattern is always going to be #1. If you see this guy back up, make sure you guys are hitting your short routes. Don't always go for the deep passes. Sometimes it's just not needed. Then number two A and B are going to be your crossers, which are your 2 drags that are coming across the field. As you can see, this one is actually open. You can hit him. And then number 3 A and B are going to be this post route, and it's going to be this guy here. And you guys are good to go. That's it. Those are both 2 man-beating routes. You can actually float this over the top and end up with a nice catch, and you can throw the post and end up with a nice catch as well. So those are your read progressions. Very, very easy, very, very simple. This is going to destroy man coverage. Yeah, this is just going to destroy man coverage. There's not much that your defenders could do when it comes to that. Now, setup #2, we're going to streak the inside wide receiver. And we're going to put the outside tight end on some sort of a flat. It's going to be the same situation, but for this one, I like to put the outside tight end in an actual out route. So an out route or some sort of a flat route. Take a picture, screenshot this, and your read progressions are going to be number 1, A and B are going to be the drag and the out route. Number 2 is going to be the streak. If they are in some sort of a cover 3, he might be open during in the seams. Like in the seams, he will end up being open. And then your last is going to be, again, same thing as last time, the wheel route coming out of the backfield and the post. So I'm just going to call it so you guys can see. We end up having a wide open guy. He was too wide open. And if I see it, I'm going to throw it. So those are going to be what the play looks like. Again, take a screenshot, but this is very, very easy. The drag ends up open because they end up blitzing. Boom. The streak ends up open. Not the streak. The post ends up open because of the streak, but you have to pass lead it down here. So because I'm already throwing the ball, that's why this guy's actually crashing down. He's not actually playing the post route. The streak keeps the deep blue here pretty much backed up so that we can actually throw the post down here and actually have a play there. So again, your reads, very, very simple, very, very easy. Another very, very easy play to run. Now, setup number 3, actually, let me make sure you guys have a screenshot of this. Take your screenshot. This is setup number 2. Now, setup number 3, we're going to motion out the tight end, put him on a slant, and then motion him right back in. Oh. This guy is supposed to be on a drag. Boom, just like that. Take a screenshot. Your read progressions are going to be the 2 drags, the 2 crossers. Then you're going to have the slant, and then you're going to look at the post and the wheel route. So again, the drag is open. We're going to end up throwing it. Now, the reason why we put the slant on the field is simply because we don't have tight end apprentice. If you have tight end apprentice, you can skip the step of motioning that guy out. But we're going to showcase the instant replay. The drag here and the drag here are going to be your first 2 reads. And then if you see that this guy is chasing the drag, throw it to the slant. And then your last routes are going to be the wheel route here and the post route over the top here, which sometimes just create a lot of separation. And you're going to always want to pretty much have those in your back pocket pretty much. So because it just makes your life a lot easier to deal with people who are either blitzing, cover 1, cover 0, stuff like that. Obviously, the double drags do a great job, and then the slant above it does an even better job. But if you guys have tight end apprentice, you guys can put that guy in some sort of a post route and go absolutely crazy. And that is setup number 3. Setup number 4, we're going to take the tight end, motion him out. Same situation. We're going to motion that guy back in. We're going to put O on a zig and put the inside tight end on a flat pattern. Now, again, just like always, your flat is going to be the number 1 read. Take a screenshot of this. This is going to help you guys out a lot. Your flat pattern is going to be your number 1 read. Your number 2 read is going to be the slant or the zig, depending on where they're going. And then obviously, just like the last one, the wheel route coming out of the back and the post route are going to be your final reads. So, boom, the slant ends up open. You end up, I just highballed that, but you didn't need to. And I'll actually show the instant replay on that because everything worked out perfect. The flat ends up open. Excuse me, not open. The flat ends up guarded, and then the wheel route actually breaks open. But we already have the tight end slant wide open because it ends up creating some sort of a flood concept that you guys are going to be able to hit. The whole gist of this whole thing is to make sure you guys are hitting your flats. You want to have flats out there so that your opponent starts accounting for those flats. But again, this is one of the best plays, in my opinion, to run. Now, that is the 4th setup for that, and that is the final setup for mesh spot. Next play, PA tight end scissors, and this is going to be another just really, really good formation to actually run. So we're going to call random defense on the offense, excuse me, on the defensive side. And you can call the play stock. You don't really have to do much, but setup number 1 for this is you're going to streak the outside wide receiver. And then you're going to streak the outside tight end. And then if you want, it's an optional thing. You can block the running back, but for this, I'm not going to block them. This is if you're trying to take the top off of the defense here. I threw ads. That's not a bad. That's a terrible read. If you want to take the top off of the defense and you want to have some of the deepest corner routes in the game, this is going to be one of the plays that you call. So I'm going to motion out the tight end out here, and this is going to help this is going to help your corner routes get open a little bit more. So we leave the play action here. We should probably scramble out. And that's one of the reasons you might want to leave the play action, because you end up getting a nice little in route that helps you, that pretty much helps you get that separation if you guys need it. Or you can cancel that play action and just put them on a random route. But yes, this is going to be what the play looks like. X should break. Actually, nobody's open except for the running back. And Michael Vick, perfect accuracy out of bounds. Good job, EA. So again, this is going to be the #1 play, because it's going to be one of those that just takes the top off of the defense. Now, again, X ends up open, beam, dot, and that's exactly what you want to see. Very, very easy. Now, setup #2. Actually, take a screenshot of this so you guys can have the play. And setup #2, we're going to streak the outside receiver. We're going to zig the inside receiver. Actually, I have to reset the play here. And then you're going to block the inside tight end. Now, this is absolutely optional. You don't have to block the inside tight end, but if you are facing someone who is blitzing, this is going to help you guys out a lot. This play setup specifically. Why? Because you have the running back on a route that could potentially be blocked. So you end up having 2 extra blockers if they are sending a blitz. That is a little bit too much for your offensive line to handle. And as you can see, boom, you're going to end up being able to hit this guy, cutting it off, and catching that almost every single time. It's one of those plays that if you do block that tight end, you will have to make sure that they are blitzing. Like, that's one of those that it's like, hey, they're disguising their blitz very, very good, or they're blitzing every single time. And if they are, this is going to help you guys out a lot. Now, O ends up open here. Cromartie has universal coverage on. That's why he's going to knock that pass out. But again, your read progressions are very, very simple. You're going to look at the zig first. Then you're going to look at the post. You got two reads here, 2 simple reads. And then obviously, if this guy ends up open, you're going to end up hitting the running back coming out of the backfield. Very, very, very easy setup. Now, same thing. We're going to streak the outside receiver. I actually don't know why I have my 3rd string tight end in. I don't know if it changed the play. Oh, he got tired in practice mode. I did not know that that was a thing, actually. He got tired and got subbed out in practice. But setup #3, we're going to streak the outside wide receiver. We're going to drag the inside wide receiver. And then we're going to block, we're going to drag the inside tight end. And then we're going to block the running back here. This is going to be one of those high-low reads. You got double drags coming across the field. And this is going to help you guys out a lot as well. Oh, bad read. Now, your reads are going to be the double crossers. Let me go ahead and set the play up one more time. Your reads are going to be the double crossers first. It's going to be the 1A, 1B kind of situation. And then afterwards, R1 is going to be your final read. And then obviously, if some kind of route bounce needs to happen, that's it. Very, very easy situation. If you want to throw that guy, as soon as you throw it, perfect. Not going to be mad at it. But as you can see, the double drags, this drag ends up wide open. And then you want to throw that before he crosses. You want to throw that because if you wait too long, he ends up going too far deep. And sometimes you won't be able to hit this route as early as I did. And that ends up getting frustrating. And that's my backup tight end there. So that is setup #3. Take a screenshot of it. Actually, let me set it up one more time so you guys can take a screenshot. Take a screenshot. Hold on to it. This is one of the best plays, in my opinion, that you guys can actually run because it has that high-low read, it has the double crossers, and it turns into a flood concept by the end of the play, which is a little bit frustrating for some of the people that you play. Now, this is the last setup for this. You're going to motion out the tight end. You're going to streak the outside tight end. You're going to... Oh, let me reset the play. I never reset it from the last play. This is the final setup. You're going to streak the outside tight end. you're going to drag the inside wide receiver, and you're going to put the outside wide receiver on a smart routed in route. And then you're going to want to block the running back. Again, that is always optional. It does cancel out the play action, but canceling out the play action helps with your blocking. So this is going to be the play. Take a screenshot. Your reads are going to be, the drag is going to be first. Then you're looking, 2A and 2B are going to be the corner and the crosser, not the crosser, the in route, excuse me. And then obviously you have a streak. You always want to have a route that goes all the way up the field. So it just kind of helps bring those deep blues back. And let's actually call the play one time. Pitts is actually, he was kind of open. R1 is a little too slow. He's literally like a 71 overall tight end. And that's why he's not going to be fast enough to get all the way out there. So again, you are going to want to have a decent tight end out there so that you guys can go absolutely crazy. But this is the setup. And again, your read progression's always going to be first, which he's open. And this is one of the reasons why you need a fast tight end. And that is actually called a touchdown, which is kind of crazy. But one of the reasons why you want a decent speed tight end out there is because, as you can see, the corner route is pretty much beating the street. He's too slow to actually drag him up fast enough so that we can actually throw this about right here. This guy should be up here already, but he's not, unfortunately, because he's like a 71 overall tight end, which kind of makes it a little bit worse. But if you guys have your actual players in, that play goes absolutely stupid. It's a very, very good play to actually run. So let me set it up one more time so you guys can get your screenshot of it. And that is going to be the final play in this ebook. Single back wing slot. It's honestly good enough to win games with just running the ball with your alert bubble, because it's just one of the most OP run plays in the game. And I did drop a video on this run specifically because it's that good. So if you guys are having any trouble on offense and you guys need some kind of a scheme, this is one of the schemes that is a very, very easy kind of, I don't want to say brain dead, but it is kind of a brain dead scheme. It just makes your life 10 times easier to have a scheme where you guys can run the ball very, very efficiently, where your opponent has to account for both kinds of situations, whether it be running the ball, passing the ball, screen plays, it doesn't matter. This is going to make your life easier, especially if you're utilizing the run game as much as possible. So before I end it, I'm going to touch base on the previous formation that we touched base on, which was the trips tight end. Actually, it was the trips tight end offset week. And again, you guys have to make sure that you guys are substituting some sort of a tight end in this formation, because this is going to be something that's going to frustrate your opponent to have to deal with this RPO read alert, right? Let me call a random defense to guard this RPO read alert, and then you audible down to single back wing slot. This is going to be extremely, extremely frustrating. It's somewhat of a quick audible as well, and then it's going to be bad. It's going to be bad. You add jukebox to your player, and it just makes it 10 times worse. It's such a quick audible. You don't really have to do much, and they have to account for both kinds of schemes, which is extremely, extremely frustrating. As you can see, there are so many different options that you guys can dominate your opponents on. And then once they get comfortable stopping all of that, you can go ahead and hit a random verticals route for a good gain of about, let's see if we can catch this. We cannot. That's just a bad read. But there's just so many different things that you guys can do. You add tight end apprentice, you add running back apprentice, and your offense becomes almost unstoppable. This is part 2 of the Philadelphia/Indianapolis Colts ebook for Madden 24. Get on the field with it. Let me know how it works for you guys. This is something that pro players are running as well, so make sure you guys are utilizing this as well as you possibly can. My name is Pony Montana. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Hopefully you guys appreciate this video, and I will see you guys in the next one. And as always, 2 fingers, deuces, and peace out, you guys.